When everything around you begins to shake, your plans, your peace, your sense of control, remember this life has never promised certainty. The world doesn't move in straight lines, it moves in waves, and those who learn to surf those waves instead of drowning in them are the ones who truly live. Strength is not found in avoiding the storm, but in standing firm while the wind tests your roots. Uncertainty is the very fabric of life. Nothing stays still, nothing remains predictable. Every breath you take is an act of stepping into the unknown. The moment we try to hold on to stability, we begin to suffer because life has never been designed to obey our control. Change is not a disturbance, it is the pulse of existence. When we stop fearing the unknown and start embracing it, we begin to live with freedom. True strength comes not from holding the world still, but from learning to move with it. Resilience does not mean fighting against life. It is not about hardening yourself or building walls. It is about staying open, bending without breaking, and trusting your roots even when the winds are fierce. The most resilient beings are not those who resist the storm, but those who dance within it. To be resilient is to stay grounded in awareness, to stay conscious when everything around you demands reaction. It is the art of standing tall in surrender, not in defiance. When chaos surrounds you, clarity begins to rise. In the noise of confusion, your real self starts to surface, stripped of illusions and false comfort. Uncertainty burns away what is unnecessary, leaving behind only what is true. The struggle you face is not punishment, it is purification. It refines you, sharpens your understanding, and teaches you to see beyond appearances. Every fall, every loss, every doubt is shaping you into someone who cannot be shaken easily. Resilience grows when you release your attachment to outcomes. The moment you stop chasing results and start focusing on your inner strength, peace begins to settle within you. Pain becomes a teacher, not an enemy. Each difficult experience carries a lesson, a chance to rise with deeper wisdom. Instead of asking why life is testing you, ask what life is revealing to you. When you stop resisting, your energy transforms from reaction into creation, from chaos into calm determination. The path of resilience is the path of surrender, not weakness. It is the courage to trust life even when the direction is unclear. It is knowing that strength does not come from control but from awareness. When you accept life as it is, you stop falling, you begin to rise beyond every storm. You discover a stillness that no uncertainty can touch, a depth that no fear can shake. Through every challenge, you are not losing yourself, you are uncovering the power that has always been within you. Resilience is not about putting up a fight with life or building walls to protect yourself from pain. It is the quiet power of flexibility, the inner strength that allows you to move with life's rhythm instead of against it. Those who mistake resilience for resistance often exhaust themselves trying to control what cannot be controlled. True resilience is fluid, not rigid. It allows you to face uncertainty without fear and to respond with balance instead of panic. When you resist life, you create friction. The more you struggle to make everything go your way, the more life pushes back. Resistance is born out of fear, fear of losing, fear of change, fear of the unknown. But resilience comes from understanding that everything in existence is temporary. You do not need to fight every storm, you simply need to remain steady while it passes. Like the deep roots of a tree that hold firm even as the branches sway, resilience anchors you in awareness, not in stubbornness. There is profound intelligence in letting go. When you stop resisting, you begin to see life as it is, not as you wish it to be. This clarity allows you to adapt and transform without losing your essence. Resistance keeps you stuck in pain, while resilience opens the door to growth. The moment you stop fighting the flow, you start learning from it. Life's waves are not meant to drown you, but to teach you how to navigate. Resilience is born in acceptance, not avoidance. It is not about ignoring pain, but facing it with an open heart. Every difficulty becomes a lesson, every setback a teacher, and every loss a space for renewal. To be resilient is to stay soft enough to feel, yet strong enough to stand. It is the strength that breathes, the power that bends, and the courage that endures without bitterness. Those who live with resilience understand that life cannot always be tamed, but it can always be embraced. They do not resist change, they evolve with it. They do not cling to comfort, they grow beyond it. Resilience is the ability to live fully in the face of uncertainty, to find peace within movement, and to rise not because life is easy, but because the spirit within refuses to break. When chaos enters life, it shatters everything you thought was stable. The structures you built, the plans you trusted, and the control you believed you had all begin to fall apart. Yet within that destruction lies a strange kind of order. The noise and confusion that seem unbearable at first are often clearing away what no longer serves you. Life uses chaos to strip away illusion, forcing you to see what is real, what truly matters, and what is worth holding on to when everything else fades. Clarity is never born in comfort. It is forged in the fire of confusion where every false belief burns away. When nothing makes sense, your inner strength begins to speak louder than the world's distractions. In those moments, you start to see beyond appearances. You realize that clarity does not come from control but from surrendering to truth. The more you stop trying to shape life into your expectations, the more it begins to reveal its deeper wisdom to you. Chaos has a way of testing your foundation. It asks you to look within and question what you have been standing on. Were your choices guided by truth or by fear? Were your goals built on purpose or on pride? The confusion that shakes you is not meant to destroy you, it is meant to awaken you. Every storm clears the path for new vision, new understanding, and a stronger sense of who you are beneath the noise of the world. When everything around you is uncertain, your awareness becomes your only anchor. In chaos, there is no external stability to depend on, so you must turn inward to find direction. This is where real clarity begins to form, not from the opinions of others, not from past experiences, but from direct connection with the present moment. The confusion that once frightened you becomes the teacher that guides you toward wisdom and balance. In the silence that follows chaos, something powerful emerges. You no longer seek perfection, you seek truth. You no longer crave certainty, you crave understanding. The fog that once blinded you now gives way to light, and you begin to see life as it truly is, unpredictable, raw and beautifully alive. Through the heart of confusion, clarity is born, and in that clarity you rediscover yourself. The unknown is not a void to be feared, but a space of infinite possibility. Every time you step into uncertainty, life tests your courage and your trust. The mind craves familiarity because it believes safety lies in what is known, yet true growth never happens in the comfort of repetition. The unknown is the ground where creation begins, the field where something new can take shape. When you stop fearing what you cannot predict, you begin to experience life as it is, unfolding unpredictable and full of hidden power. Fear of the unknown is born from attachment. The mind clings to what is familiar even when it brings suffering because it feels secure in what it understands. But when you release this attachment, you discover that the unknown is not chaos, it is freedom. It is the moment where you are stripped of all pretenses and forced to rely on awareness instead of control. It is the point where your true intelligence awakens, Not the learned intelligence that repeats patterns, but the living intelligence that responds to what is in front of you. Each time you step into the unknown, you are reborn. The moment you leave behind what you think you are, you open the door to what you can become. Growth demands risk. Transformation requires stepping beyond certainty. The unknown may shake your comfort, but it also shatters your limitations. It breaks the boundaries created by fear and habit and calls forth the strength hidden beneath layers of doubt. Every step into unfamiliar territory expands your capacity to live more fully and consciously. When you begin to trust the unknown, a deep peace starts to rise within you. You stop trying to control outcomes and begin to align with the flow of life. There is no resistance, no constant struggle to make things fit your plan. You simply respond with clarity and awareness, and life begins to reveal its rhythm through you. The unknown becomes a companion rather than a threat, a silent guide that teaches you the art of surrender without weakness and acceptance without resignation. In embracing the unknown, you step beyond fear and step into presence. You begin to see that every moment of uncertainty carries a hidden intelligence shaping you, refining you, and preparing you for what's to come. The unknown does not take away your path, it reveals it step by step. When you walk with trust, each uncertainty becomes an invitation to discover more of who you truly are, a being not limited by the known, but expanded by the infinite. Detachment from outcomes is not about indifference or lack of ambition, it is about releasing the desperate need for control. When your mind becomes consumed by results, you lose the power of presence. Every action turns into anxiety, every step becomes a burden. The obsession with success creates fear of failure, and that fear drains your energy before the journey even begins. True strength is found when you act with full intention but remain free from the chains of expectation. The mind is constantly calculating, comparing, and predicting. It wants guarantees before it commits. But life does not work through guarantees, it works through participation. When you detach from outcomes, you stop demanding that life should move according to your script. You give your best, and then you let the universe decide its rhythm. This freedom allows your energy to flow naturally without the weight of worry or the pressure to prove. In this state, your actions become more powerful because they arise from clarity, not fear. Attachment to results creates unnecessary suffering. When you measure your worth by success or failure, you become a slave to circumstances. If things go your way, you feel elated. If they don't, you fall into despair. Detachment breaks this cycle. It teaches you to stay balanced in both victory and loss, to see both as part of the same process. When you act with awareness instead of obsession, you find peace in motion. Success no longer defines you, your presence does. Detachment is not inaction. It is full engagement without dependency. It means doing what must be done with intensity and focus, yet remaining untouched by the outcome. You stop trying to control life and start cooperating with it. The power of detachment lies in your ability to act with a still mind. You are no longer thrown off course by success or disappointment. You learn to see results as reflections, not as verdicts of your worth. Peace is born when you no longer live in reaction to results. Detachment allows you to move through life with grace, no matter how unpredictable it becomes. When your energy is not trapped in fear of failure or hunger for validation, it becomes pure and unshakable. You act because it is right, not because it guarantees reward. Detachment transforms your actions into expressions of freedom, and in that freedom, you discover an inner calm that no outcome can disturb. Pain is not your enemy, it is the raw material from which transformation is born. Every wound carries within it the seed of awakening, waiting to grow if you allow it. When you experience pain, life is not punishing you. It is shaping you, sharpening your awareness, forcing you to see beyond comfort. Pain has the power to break illusions, to burn away what is false, and to expose the strength that lies hidden beneath your fear. The deeper the wound, the greater the invitation to evolve beyond it. Most people run from pain, seeking distractions to numb it or escape it, but avoidance only multiplies suffering. When you resist pain, you give it more control. When you face it directly, you begin to understand its message. Pain speaks in silence, it does not destroy without purpose. It reveals where attachment still holds you captive, where expectations still blind you, and where ego still demands control. To embrace pain is to reclaim your power from it, to no longer be a victim of your emotions but a master of your response. Pain teaches what comfort cannot. It demands that you confront the truth of who you are and what you value. It exposes your weaknesses, but in doing so, it gives you a chance to transform them into strength. Every heartbreak, every failure, every disappointment is a mirror reflecting the areas of your life that are asking for growth. You do not become wise through ease, you become wise through endurance. Growth is not born in laughter, it is carved through struggle. Transformation through pain is not about glorifying suffering but about understanding its purpose. Pain refines your vision. It humbles arrogance, deepens compassion and awakens gratitude. What once felt unbearable becomes the very foundation of wisdom and resilience. The fire that burns you also purifies you, melting away everything that is superficial. In the process, a deeper awareness emerges, one that no longer seeks to avoid life's storms, but learns to move through them with clarity and strength. When you stop asking, "Why is this happening to me?" and begin asking, "What is this trying to teach me?" your entire relationship with pain changes. You stop seeing it as punishment and start seeing it as preparation. The same pain that once felt like destruction becomes a force of awakening, pushing you toward your higher potential. Life uses pain not to break you, but to rebuild you into someone capable of seeing truth beyond suffering, someone who no longer fears the fire because they have learned how to rise from it. When life becomes chaotic and noise fills every corner of your mind, the tendency is to look outward for solutions, for voices that can guide or rescue you. But the more you seek outside, the more lost you become. The real power lies not in chasing answers, but in learning to be still amidst the storm. Stillness is not escape, it is alignment with what is real. When you stop fighting the noise and simply observe it, a deeper awareness begins to rise, calm, steady, and untouched by the world's turbulence. The storm outside is a reflection of the unrest within. The more you struggle to silence it, the louder it grows. But when you turn inward and allow yourself to sit in that chaos without resistance, the storm begins to lose its power. You start to see that the noise was never the problem, your reaction to it was. True stillness does not depend on the world becoming quiet, it depends on you becoming grounded enough that no external force can disturb your inner peace. Silence is not weakness, it is not passivity or retreat from life. Silence is presence, the pure awareness that observes without judgment, that stands steady when everything else falls apart. It is in this silence that your strength is born, not from noise or conflict, but from understanding. Stillness sharpens perception, allowing you to see beyond emotion and chaos. When the mind is still, even for a moment, clarity appears naturally and decisions come from wisdom instead of fear. The ability to be still in turmoil is the mark of true mastery. Anyone can remain calm when life is gentle, but resilience is measured in how steady you stay when everything trembles. Stillness does not remove challenges, but it transforms how you face them. You stop reacting out of panic and start responding with awareness. You see situations for what they are, not what your emotions paint them to be. This awareness brings balance, and balance brings strength that endures. When you learn to dwell in stillness, you realize that no storm lasts forever. The winds may roar and the skies may darken, but the silence within you remains untouched. It becomes your refuge, your center, your truth. From that space, you no longer fear uncertainty or loss because you have found a place that cannot be shaken. In the depth of stillness, the storm loses meaning and you discover the quiet power of simply being, unmoved, aware and free. Faith in the process is not blind belief, it is the deepest form of trust in life itself. When the path ahead is uncertain and your efforts seem invisible to the world, faith becomes the bridge that carries you forward. It is the quiet assurance that every step, no matter how small, is part of a larger unfolding that your mind cannot yet comprehend. Faith is not about waiting for proof, it is about moving with conviction even when evidence has not yet arrived. It is the strength that allows you to walk through darkness with the certainty that light exists beyond it. Doubt is a natural companion on every meaningful journey. The mind craves control, demanding clarity and guarantees before it takes a single step. But life does not operate through certainty, it thrives in mystery. Faith demands surrender, the willingness to trust the unseen forces that guide your growth. It is an inner knowing that there is intelligence at work far beyond your logic, shaping circumstances, aligning people, and preparing moments that you cannot yet see. When you stop questioning the timing of life and start trusting its rhythm, your anxiety begins to dissolve into patience. The process often feels slow and unforgiving because true transformation does not happen on the surface, it happens in silence, beneath what the eyes can see. Seeds break in darkness before they ever touch the light. In the same way, your struggles and delays are part of the unseen preparation. Faith gives you the endurance to stay steady during these hidden seasons, knowing that progress is happening even when it feels invisible. The soil may look still, but something powerful is growing within it. Faith is not about ignoring difficulty, it is about facing it with awareness and courage. It means showing up even when motivation fades, working even when results are not visible, and trusting that your effort will find its destination. Every act done with sincerity plants a seed in the fabric of life, and life never wastes what is genuine. The path may twist and turn, but faith ensures you do not lose yourself in the process. It keeps you aligned with purpose even when direction seems lost. To have faith in the process is to live with open eyes and a steady heart. You stop measuring progress by immediate outcomes and start recognizing growth in the subtle changes within you. Every delay, every detour, every fall becomes part of the same design, leading you toward wholeness. When faith becomes your foundation, uncertainty no longer feels threatening, it becomes a sacred journey of becoming. You learn to trust not only the path, but also the version of yourself that is being shaped through it. Energy is the most powerful force you possess, yet most of it is lost in emotional reactions. Every time you allow anger, fear or frustration to take over, your energy scatters. Emotion by itself is not the problem, it becomes destructive when it controls your actions. Energy, when directed with awareness, becomes creation. Emotion, when uncontrolled, becomes chaos. The moment you begin to master your energy, instead of your emotions mastering you, life starts to move according to your intention rather than your impulses. When you live through emotion, you are reacting to the past. Every situation triggers memories, fears or judgments, and your response becomes automatic. But when you operate through awareness, your energy becomes purposeful. You stop being a prisoner of circumstance and start shaping your experience consciously. The difference between a reactive life and a powerful one lies in where your energy flows. Reaction consumes, creation transforms. Awareness allows you to channel that same energy into something meaningful rather than letting it drain through resistance. When you learn to rise above emotional turbulence, your presence becomes powerful and stable. You stop wasting your life reacting to every disturbance and start using your energy to create change, growth and peace. Your mind becomes sharper, your heart lighter and your actions more precise. This is the state where true resilience emerges, the strength that does not depend on external calm but on inner mastery. Energy, when liberated from the prison of emotion, becomes the force that turns challenges into creation and uncertainty into opportunity. Surrender is often mistaken for weakness, but in truth, it is the highest form of strength. Control is born from fear, the fear of losing, the fear of the unknown, the fear that life will not go as you desire. Yet no matter how tightly you hold on, existence always moves according to its own rhythm. When you finally stop struggling to force life into your design, you begin to experience its natural intelligence. Surrender does not mean giving up, it means giving in to the deeper flow that has always been guiding you. Every moment of resistance creates tension within you. The mind believes that by controlling every outcome, it can avoid pain and uncertainty. But life was never meant to be mastered through force. The more you resist, the more suffering you create. Surrender releases that resistance and allows you to see things as they truly are. When you stop fighting the current, you conserve your energy and that energy becomes clarity. You stop reacting blindly and begin responding consciously, moving with the natural rhythm of life rather than against it. Surrender is not passive acceptance, it is intelligent alignment. It means trusting that there is meaning even in moments of confusion, trusting that the path you are on, even with all its twists and detours, is leading you somewhere essential. When you let go of your need to control, you create space for life to unfold in ways you could never have planned. This space becomes the ground where transformation happens. Surrender does not take your power away, it expands it because your actions start coming from awareness, not fear. Through surrender, ego begins to dissolve. The constant voice that demands, expects and fear starts to lose its authority. You stop seeing yourself as separate from life and begin to feel as part of something larger, something vast and intelligent. In that state, even challenges lose their heaviness because you no longer see them as obstacles, but as movements of growth. The pain that once felt unbearable becomes a pressure that shapes you into something stronger and wiser. When surrender becomes your way of being, life no longer feels like a struggle to survive, but a dance of participation. You move not out of control, but out of connection. Each experience, whether joyous or painful, becomes part of your unfolding. You stop demanding that life should make sense, and instead, you allow it to reveal its meaning through experience. In surrender, you do not fall, you rise not by conquering life, but by becoming one with it. In the end, resilience is not a skill to be learned, it's an awakening to your own depth. Life will keep testing you, not to break you, but to show you what you are made of. Uncertainty will always be there, but once you discover the stillness within, no storm can move you. You don't just survive uncertain times, you evolve through them.